Hello! Welcome everybody to the Lit Fam podcast, trying to be funny since 2016. Today, we're joined by Platinum Fox, Preston.
Oh, hi. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
That's your cue.
Yeah. I
You
was just,
had one job.
I'm just, staring at OBS. I'm like, wow, that
Like,
was a good intro. That was
look
a good intro this time. And then
look
I'm
at the
like,
audio going up and down. Wow.
yeah, he said my name. I have to say something. Hi.
We're also joined
Hello,
by
world.
Josh. I was actually going to do Dylan next, but there you go. Hello, Josh. How are you?
I had to say it. I was dying to say. I'm like, hello, world. There's a song that you're singing. Come on, get happy.
Well then,
And Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
yay! Finally, you get to me.
Do we get another performance? You gonna try to outdo Josh?
Yeah, do me.
All right, moving on.
No.
So today's topic is a surprise for Josh. Preston and Dylan know what it is, but we haven't told you. We've kept you in the dark.
He doesn't know?
He
Nope.
doesn't know.
Oh?
He doesn't know.
I didn't know that.
No.
Yeah, no, he's completely in the dark, blind as a bat. We're talking about time travel. What we would do, what we think about it, what we would change, all the good stuff. We could talk a little bit about like how it works and the rules of it, sort of to pre-establish the conversation, because time travel always works differently depending on the context. I personally like the way the Avengers Endgame did it, where past is your future, and going back in time doesn't change anything because you already went back in time.
Yeah, that is good.
They
It
didn't do
keeps
it
things
first.
consistent.
They didn't do
No,
it
I'm
first.
I'm sure they didn't, but I don't remember who did it first.
Dragon Ball Z, I think. Or
That-
so,
Are you serious?
or
Wait,
so
really?
I've been told by YouTube, yes.
Dragon Ball Z.
I never watched Dragon Ball Z.
And
but
neither did
that's
I.
great.
Neither
Oh,
did
I
I.
did.
Anime.
I love that show.
How much of it have you seen?
I've seen all of the Dragon Ball.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
yeah.
isn't it like crazy long?
It is. I've seen Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super. It's like,
All right, well, did they do it first then? You should be the expert.
did Dragon Ball do time travel first?
In the way that Endgame did.
Yeah.
Computing.
Like, it's obvious. It's like Dragon Ball came first, so
Yeah, but I didn't know that they did time travel. Okay.
Or
never mind.
according
Don't
to
act like I'm the idiot here, just
Sorry.
because I've never seen Dragon Ball Z.
It's the best looking show ever.
According to
doubt
like
that.
a bunch of the YouTube stuff I watched about it, at
Highly
least
doubt
they did it first. And
Well, I liked it when I was younger. It's a fighting show. Sorry,
Yeah.
Preston.
It was for me. It was just another anime.
Yeah.
What do you mean,
Another
just another anime?
I'll stab you in your sleep.
Them's fighting words, Dylan.
Those fighting words, boy. How can you ask?
You will die braver than most.
Died braver than most. I don't know, man. Dying in your sleep doesn't sound very brave.
I was able to say that Dragon Ball was just another anime.
Oh, that is true.
But now you're gonna die in your sleep.
No, you're gonna get like a lot of hate mail and death threats.
I just immediately became the worst person in the podcast to a lot of people.
Yeah, people have now tuned out and they'll never watch again.
Yeah.
you're on a
And
hit list, Dylan.
It's only episode 3, and we've already lost our lack of an audience.
Yay! You're welcome.
Yeah, no, a lot of people like Dragon Ball. So some
I
people
mean, I
say
heard
it's
it
a
was good. I just
really-
never watched it.
Yeah, I mean, it is something to watch. Pretty good show.
That is the definition of a show.
No, I mean, like- I mean,
no,
like,
I watch my guitar all the time.
Shut up, Dylan. No, you don't. You liar.
I mean, like it's a show you should watch. The original had a flair to it. GT had more of a focus on the combat. Super is something.
Smash Brothers. You know.
You have a very, very large opinion on that one. I can tell. Very
They got,
opinionated.
I don't know, in my opinion, it got really weird really quick.
That's the problem with most shows. Do we want to talk about anime for an hour, or
Anime for an hour.
We can just shift gears completely.
From time travel to anime, it's like, yeah, anime. Let's talk about all them good shows. Like Goblin
Sarah
Slayer.
here. We need to have
That
Sarah
was
for
a
that.
good show.
Yeah, it's true. We can't do an anime episode without Sarah. She would actually kill me in my sleep. Unlike Dylan, who were like joking about dying in his sleep. No, Sarah. Well, she'd wake me up first. Actually,
Oh,
she'd
we
wake
were
me up
joking
and then
about
skin
that?
me alive.
Tomorrow I
Oh.
just disappear and
We
nobody
were
knows where I
joking about
went.
that. I'm gonna have to go cancel a couple orders on Amazon then.
Wait, on Amazon? You can hire hitmen on Amazon?
I mean, you gotta look hard enough, but you can hire somebody from anywhere.
It's like they've all got bad reviews.
We're the
Yelp.
Chinese women that rub your feet.
But my God.
Oh my
I'm
god.
ordering one now on Amazon Prime.
Nice.
Gonna have it delivered by soon.
Just airdropped in through a drone.
Finally, unlimited Chinese food.
No, that's
The thing-
PetSmart.
I have to block you, Andrew. I'm sorry. But I have to block you after that comment.
It's
Okay,
like,
so
no.
following the rules of you can't change the past with the future, I think that's a good place to start. Just gonna try to get us back on track here before we completely go off the rails. Would you rather go to the past to experience things or to see things, or would you rather go to the future?
Past.
Which
definitely.
one sounds more interesting?
The past.
Why do you say the past?
Because imagine going into the future and just being in space because you traveled past the end of the world and now you're just like floating in there and you can't get back.
That's why you time travel with a spacesuit, Dylan.
Not everybody has access to spacesuits like you, okay?
If you have access to time travel, I think it's safe to say you could easily get your hands on a spacesuit. That's just my personal opinion.
It's fair. It's a fair.
What if
thing.
you're in a
Fast.
time capsule when you went into the future? That would make more sense. So that way you didn't just die.
Exactly.
We're
But,
specifically talking- okay, yeah.
To answer the question about whether you want to go to the past or the future, that is a very hard answer for me because it's like the future could hold anything. The past, you know some
Yeah,
of what's
yeah.
in the past, but if you go to the future, anything could happen. Anything is
Exactly.
possible.
Whereas the past most certainly holds depression and despair. But
Yeah.
the future could hold even more depression and despair.
So they did change their past in Avengers, but they made alternate timelines every time they did that, kind of like a branching off from a tree.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I would go to both for different. Like I would go to the
Different
future,
reasons.
but I would go to like the next time there's like $1 billion lottery. You know, I would go and get the numbers and then
That's
come.
always like the easiest answer.
Yeah,
though.
but like think of it this way. Think of it this
Free
way.
money.
Money. Exactly. Don't have to
If you
work.
Ain't gotta work hard for it. It's free. You know, I like
If
this
you-
already.
free money is better than worked money.
Exactly. Always free anything is better
if
than
you
work
have-
anything.
If you have access to time travel, though, money's not an object anymore.
So
like you
you're-
can go
Oh,
into the
there.
future when food is free for everyone because communism has taken over, or you can go into the past where your $50 is worth $2 million. I mean,
So you're saying we're all rich because we can time travel. Therefore, I feel like going places would, I don't know, like
you
to
don't
me.
time travel. You don't time travel for monetary value. It's about the
Monetary.
experience. What do you want to see? What do you want to know? What do you want to do?
It's not for monetary value, especially when you're like, yeah, that $50 is worth $2 billion. But what do you want in the 1960s? The 1850s? It's like,
Like okay. I
I mean, maybe a house.
would go back and correct a few mistakes in my past, and by mistakes I mean the time in 4th grade I broke my wrist by moonwalking
Good job.
because it was a interesting day.
Hold up,
Yep.
everyone! Push pause. What?
I don't like that happened.
You have to tell that story
Okay.
now.
I was
Yeah,
in
tell me.
4th grade. I don't like this story. It's funny over a little bit, but I don't like it because it's the stupidest way in the world to break your hand.
It sounds like it.
It was
I wanna
4th
hear the
grade.
story.
It was 4th grade. We were in gym class, and they rolled out those little carpets for you to bowl, and they set up like 3 or 4 pins, and you bowl. Well, I got a strike, okay? And 4th grade me was like, yeah, I'm the best. I got a strike. So I proceeded to moonwalk. Except,
Question:
yeah,
down the lane where you bowled or horizontal to it?
behind it. I started from where I ended bowling, and just went backwards. You know?
Gotcha.
Yep. And there was a bench behind me, and I tripped on my feet, and I fell backwards, and my hands went over my head, arching, and my wrist smacked the corner of that bench.
Yikes.
And I broke my wrist, and it is the dumbest way to ever break anything, in
What
my
about
opinion.
Brian?
Yeah, Brian broke his wrist riding a 50-year-old bicycle. That is probably a little bit dumber.
What? I mean,
And then as he was bleeding out on the sidewalk, people drove by and walked by and left him there to bleed out.
That is true. No one helped
That-
him. Of course,
that
he looks
sounds-
homeless. In their defense,
that sounds like a first world society. I agree, Josh.
First world problems.
yeah, no, I can agree with that. If I would time travel back to 12-year-old Andrew and I would say, hey, don't play dodgeball today. You're gonna break your finger.
Exactly. Oh, I did that too.
Playing dodgeball.
Yes. I was picked in line because we just formed a line, and they just counted to 15 and said, you're on that side, you're on that side. I tripped, smashed my middle finger into the ground, and then the person behind me didn't see me, and then I proceeded to step on my hand as they ran towards the
Oof.
thing. So I then
Yikes.
had a broken middle finger.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to catch a ball.
I would go back that way
Yeah.
and correct that as well.
Okay. So we would no longer have any broken bones. I think we can establish that.
I would
sadly.
correct my broken bones, and like I would tell.
Any emotional turmoil you want to work on as well? While
No,
we're at
no,
it? You
no,
wanna,
no.
Like
I
slap
just
a band-aid on anxiety or depression.
just physical
or...
pain and
Okay,
monetary value. I would go back. You know what? I would go back to high school. I don't know. See, part of me is like, because I'm in college and computer networking. Part of me wants to go back 10. Oh, that was a nice sound.
What was
Is that the sound
Ignore
of time
that.
travel?
That's that's
Yeah.
my time travel alarm.
But I wouldn't. See. I'm conflicted because like going to the future and winning the lottery is easy and it's nice, but also like, you want to do something with your life. So,
right.
a part of me is kind of conflicted because what I'm learning in college now in terms of computer networking, 10, 15 years ago, 90s, early 2000s type stuff, I would literally be at the top of the food chain making a lot of money. And now I'm like at the bottom. I'm not graduated, but like with the limited knowledge I have, I would be making so much money and in charge of like lots of things, and I could just, so it's interesting. And like I grew up in the early 2000s, and I like those times. So like going back, being older and having money in those times doesn't sound too bad to me.
Yeah.
But like I would miss video games because computer technology and gaming
Yeah.
were
Which is one of the reasons why I want to go to the future.
No, that's okay.
Oh.
Like, what is your vision of the future of gaming?
Hightail.
Uh.
I just want to play Hightail, man. It's
Scratch
all I
that.
want.
Scratch that. I'm going to the future to play Hightail.
There you go.
Well, what about virtual reality gaming?
I'm kind of eager to see where that goes. Because it's been in a weird halfway point for a while where it's kind of relevant and kind of not.
Yeah, I get that. Like they're focusing on VR and then they're focusing on AR, augmented reality, and it's like split. And I think they just need to really focus on one. Like get a
Augmented reality is like hooking your brain up to it, right?
No. So augmented reality is, you remember the idea of Google Glasses? I don't think it ever took off.
Oh yeah, where the game is in the real world.
Yes,
react to it.
Minecraft Earth. That's
okay,
yeah,
okay, I know exactly
that's
what
augmented
reality
reality.
is.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I always say that because we're all Minecraft fans here.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that's
yeah,
all.
I think virtual reality has a lot more
Um,
potential than augmented, for sure, in my opinion.
The kind
I
I was
disagree.
talking about, though, or referring to, was full dive technology, where you're putting your mind in the game, so it seems like an actual reality. What are your thoughts on that, though? Like, that would sound pretty cool.
That sounds really cool and very dangerous at the same time. Like I could see like, oh, 12-year-olds
Yeah,
there.
that's my concern is safety. But if it's safe, like then it sounds
Well,
amazing. But how can you guarantee it's safe?
how do you
Guarantee
what
anything.
determines what you're playing? Is it you're just imagining stuff and having a good time, or is it like you're downloading a brain or a game, I'm sorry, into your brain?
It would be
It'd
streamed into
more
your brain,
like-
right?
Yeah, no, it would be like basically changing your brain's input from feeling your body and seeing with your eyes to doing that in a game,
So
a
you think
virtual world.
in the future that could happen? That
They are technically trying to work on it now by basically, you know how the technology of where
see
they can hook up an emitter into your, it basically
yeah.
scans your brain and you can hear with it.
Yeah.
It's the same technology
And-
except reversed and putting your mind in a game.
You say they are working on it now, and
They.
by they, all I think is,
Japan,
oh, the
lizard
military.
people,
The
the
Japan.
Illuminati.
the Japanese be like, we got you, boy. We got you all the good stuff. We got your Dark Souls. We got your waifu body pills. We got everything you guys need.
I mean, Japan is like leading industry in gaming. I'm pretty
Sex
sure.
robots.
No, Josh, stop.
Sex robots.
No, Josh.
Artificial females.
No.
Buy now.
No.
Buy
This-
now.
This is not an advertisement. We are not sponsored.
We could be. We could be.
No.
Honda be like,
Preston, don't encourage it.
You're
Honda
telling
be
me.
like, buy Hondas certified.
You're telling me if a company like that did not come to you and said, "We will pay you $1 million to advertise in the next podcast episode," you would not take it.
I would.
I would too.
I'm a dirty slut. I'm sorry.
I don't.
I do it for the money.
I don't know.
I do
See-
it for the money.
I don't we have standards?
No,
No.
we
We
have
have a
$1 million.
brand.
No, we don't have standards. No.
Doesn't morality matter anymore?
See, okay,
We're
so
Sergio.
here's a
power.
philosophy you need to learn in life.
What's the philosophy I need to learn in life?
It's not a philosophy really. It's more of just a thing. You could joke about, sponsors and money or anything and bribes with money, but if you actually slapped a fat metal case full of hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in front of somebody, they're going to sweat. Because once you throw that much money in front of somebody, that's when everything goes out the window.
I have naturally sweaty hands anyway. I feel like I'll be sweating regardless.
Yeah, but like you're gonna be leaking.
Everywhere. On the floor,
Just pools and pools of sweat.
Your clothes will just be becoming wet, and they're just gonna look at you and
Just so much money.
retract the money because they're
It's
like, we
so
can't have anybody
moist.
that wet.
You're too wet. You're slut.
Dylan is gone. He dropped out of the call, and
He's missing
probably
out.
grateful for that right about now.
Dylan's gone.
Yeah, he dropped out a little while ago.
He joined the podcast and
And
left.
Yeah, I think his internet died.
Can we talk about him?
And
Just
how much of a
shift gears.
weenie he is.
Just shift gears completely.
I'll tell you what. Time travel is the thing. I'm gonna go back in time,
Just
and-
slap Dylan across the face.
and when he disconnects from the call, I'm just gonna be there in his window, shaking my head no, and like shame on you. And then I would upgrade his internet in his house because
That'd be nice of you.
time travel, right?
Yeah. That'd be. You know what? That's what I would do if I had time travel. I would go back and I would update everyone's internet in the early 2000s. I'd give them all high
Oh.
speed.
I just thought of
The
something.
technology didn't. Well, did it exist? Because we
No,
had
I'd
the
bring it with
means.
me.
You'd bring it with you.
illegal.
Okay.
I'd give everyone fast internet.
Okay, now what do you think about this? Taking the technology we have now and going back to the early 1900s.
Could be a wizard.
Like,
Your
yes,
wizard hair.
like, I think stuff like that would be cool. Like, in the early 1900s, you didn't have computers and like you didn't
No,
have.
I think about that all the time. Like what they would think if I like pulled out an iPhone and like took a picture of them.
Oh yeah, or like even cars. I'm not a car guy, but like slap a 2019 Ford whatever in front of somebody, or like a Honda or Hyundai, something.
Pacific RX.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Just slap any 2019 car down in front of somebody, and see what they think, and see, because like
How amazed they are.
exactly.
The reality is, though, that when you drop like into another time, unless you bring technology with you, you have no idea how it works or like what you're
Yeah.
doing or like anything. So you couldn't actually bring modern technology to past times except like physically, but like you couldn't replicate it. You couldn't like give everyone an iPhone. You would just have the one, which makes you even better. Like you are a wizard to them.
What do you mean?
Because like you don't no one in today's times has the knowledge to build an iPhone, right? Like you couldn't go
there
back in
are
time and
people.
give everyone iPhones.
There are people.
The normal person, I mean, the normal person, the
I'm-
average person.
I'm going to assume if we were rich enough and smart enough to time travel, we probably had the ability to at least understand how to make a smartphone in the 1900s.
Or at least an Android.
And on that note, that's a perfect time for Dylan to come back in. Welcome back, Dylan.
Dylan, were you gone? Were you time traveling while you were gone?
Yes, and I brought my iPhone back to Steve Jobs.
Wait a minute. Did you teach Steve Jobs how to make the iPhone?
Yeah.
Nice.
So now you're a millionaire.
You're welcome.
So now you're a billionaire or a millionaire? Dylan?
You
Trillionaire?
can't- Okay, look. The rules of time travel. If I went back, I can't change my future.
Yeah, but then we threw that out the window because then we talked about mending broken bones, remember? And how great that would be if Preston didn't hurt himself moonwalking.
But wait, I have a question.
Wouldn't that just create a branching reality?
Yes.
Perhaps.
But I would
Time
go
is a
and live in,
tree.
I would go and live in that one.
What's your question, Josh?
My question is, would you want to go back in time to see the ancient civilizations of man?
If I could rule over them, yes.
If I can't be Ramesses in Egypt, then no.
I bring my iPhone, I turn on the flashlight, I impress them all with my powers, and then
So
I
Andrew
become their
pretends he's God
Andrew,
and then gets
God.
all the temples and shrines built to him.
It's like in the future, we're like uncovering ancient civilizations, and all of them have one thing in common: the bearded god.
What a way to boost your narcissistic ego even more. I actually didn't think you could do it, Andrew, but congratulations. Time travel lets you.
Andrew, when he becomes the new god.
Could you imagine what it would be like? It's like everyone says that ancient Egypt had alien technology. It's just Andrew going back in time with a laptop.
Oh my god.
There may not be Wi-Fi, but it's bright, shiny, and they'll worship it.
Don't worry, I have everything I need downloaded.
He says he wants to be an architect. He designed the pyramids.
Yeah, I'm the most world famous architect, hidden in history. Oh, that sounds like a really cool Netflix show.
Hidden in
Hidden
history.
in history?
Hidden in history.
Oh, that does
It sounds actually. This isn't. No, it doesn't. It sounds like a really crappy History Channel show.
Well, okay, it's a fiction show about time travel where this really attractive 6'4" charismatic guy
Six
goes
four.
back
So
in
not
time,
you.
goes back in time to ancient civilizations and has them worship him.
So not you.
No, it was me actually. That was
I'm sorry. The description just didn't line up.
it feels bad, man.
Mm-hmm.
Feels bad.
Feels good.
Josh is just like into it, like, yeah, roast him more, Preston. Nice and toasty.
Do it, do it, do it.
Always.
Do it. We could talk about the prequels too. Would you go back in time and change the prequels at all?
No.
I would make my fan fictions
Burn down
reality.
Disney. Burn down Disney.
I wouldn't change the prequels because as bad as they are such a big part of meme culture and meme
Pop culture in general.
Yeah,
Tell
but-
me, Anakin.
like
I had the high ground.
meme culture.
Just for the rest of the podcast in the background, all Josh is allowed to contribute is random prequel quotes.
Yeah.
But do you think the prequels would have been better and the meme culture would have been even bigger had Jar Jar actually been revealed as the Sith Lord?
That's
That
what I'm
would've been
saying. You
funny.
could go back in time and influence George Lucas to make Star Wars more how you would want it. Like you could go back and make other movies more how you would want them, other books, other things. Like you could influence pop culture from the past.
Could you imagine going to in the past and making George Lucas making the prequels first?
Ooh.
That'd be
Star
interesting.
Wars wouldn't be what we know today.
I don't know if we'd have any more after that though.
Like, why? It's perfection. Why keep going?
That's one argument.
That's your arguments.
I do like the prequels. We need to do a whole episode on Star Wars and how amazing it is.
Star
Josh, you all right?
Wars. Yeah.
But who else would you want to go back and meet? That's one of the things I wanted to talk about as well. Like George Lucas obviously would be cool, but he's alive. So who would you want to go back and talk to before they,
Die.
kick to the bucket?
Myself.
You want to go talk to a younger self.
Yes.
It's not a bad idea. Warn some stuff about the future, or
Yeah.
drop
like
some good
Preston's
advice.
Moonwalking.
It's not a.
What would you tell yourself, Dylan?
You're gonna meet this guy. His name is Andrew. He is not threatening. Don't worry about him. Same
Thought he
thing
was
with Caleb.
Did you used to be afraid of me?
That sounds like a yes.
I don't want to say. Okay, scared is the wrong word.
I mean, it's fair. I don't even know what I'm
Intimidate.
capable of.
It was more like intimidating. So like how we talked about this the other day. But it was more so intimidated and wanted to be accepted.
Gotcha.
More so. I was like, I wanted to be accepted with the older kids. Obviously, I'm the baby of the group.
Not anymore.
Well, I'm the baby male.
There you go.
What are you doing? Not accepting people, Andrew?
I
Huh?
accept everyone. What are you talking about?
Clearly you don't. This man just
He's
admitted.
here. He's here.
But he admitted he used to not feel that way.
Well, whose fault is
Not-
that?
not that
I
I
can't
didn't
help
feel
it.
that
He
way.
was a little
Not-
squirt.
Not that I didn't feel that way. I wanted to make sure I was accepted. Not that I wasn't.
Dylan, do you hold any resentment towards me for the way that I treated you in my past?
Oh yeah, I would also go back in time with a knife. He'd be like, he's not threatening, and to prove it, I brought a knife.
If you gotta do what you gotta
He's
do.
like, it's like this 18-year-old. It's like, I don't know why I said 18. I'm not 18.
Perks of time travel.
It's like,
You could be born a
Yeah,
year
yeah,
earlier.
yeah, yeah. You
I
can
go
be
to the-
however old you want to be.
I go to my future self to tell him to go back in time to talk to my younger self.
Seems a little excessive.
Well, he has more knowledge than I do. He
Just
has more
sounds like
wisdom.
advice with extra steps.
But yeah, I think the best person to go to would be your younger self.
That's probably true. But how much would that change you? Like, I would crap myself. I'd be like, oh my god, a handsome man broke into my. Oh, never mind. That's just me.
He thinks it's a time traveler. He's just talking to a mirror. He's like, "Oh my god!" Oh wait,
Josh, what would you tell you younger self you? What would you tell little Josh?
Stocks.
Stocks?
Stocks.
Stocks.
Stop.
Well, stocks definitely won.
It's like, I was joking, but now I'm really thinking about it, and boy, do I wish I invested in stocks.
the best
Earlier
get rich
on.
quick scheme.
You get extra rich, extra quick. Skin.
Anything besides monetary value. Again, I don't think that's as valuable as you think it is once you delve into time travel.
I don't know, man.
Money becomes meaningless.
You think money becomes meaningless? Eventually, you're gonna settle down somewhere, and eventually, you're gonna want to spend some money, man.
Yeah, I suppose. It's just not as valuable as you view it now.
Oh my gosh,
Yes, Dylan?
I would go back in time and make Minecraft before Notch.
Unlimited money.
And I would make villages actually look good.
Dylan. No. Hightail. Remember. The
yeah,
goal.
just
That hasn't even
go
come
to the
out yet.
no. Go to the future, steal Hightail, then go to the past.
But if I go to the past, they don't know what they want in Hytale. They think that's stupid. They think Minecraft's stupid. You have to
No,
wait till Minecraft takes
they'll
off.
quickly learn.
Dylan, all you gotta do, go to the future, download Hightail onto like a
Onto a
USB or an SSD, go back to the past, because like 10 years ago, it was not, in the grand scheme of things, not that long, and just be like, okay, Minecraft just came out. Hightail started up right then and there. You just look at them and you're like, you guys are gonna start in the future. You just like literally appear before them as a wizard, like
Hat and everything. It's
hat,
great.
everything, beard, staff, and just say, you guys are going to create a company in the future. I'm here to make all your dreams come true. Here is all the work you do. I'm giving it to you earlier to profit. And then you just slide it across the table to them, and then you just poof.
And then in the future, when it comes time for them to make the game, they no longer need to. Therefore, they don't develop it. Therefore, Dylan can't go into the future to get it. Therefore, Dylan gets stuck in a time loop where Hightail doesn't exist, and his existence is
meaningless.
sad.
What if in the future we all found out that what our plans for time travel actually happened? Like Andrew actually went to the pyramids and made them.
Ooh,
Preston actually is the reason Hightail exists, and I'm the reason the iPhone exists.
that is funny.
I would be disappointed
And
for
Josh
not
is actually a
investing.
millionaire.
And Josh has stocks. Josh.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Insert Kronk.
Stonks.
Stonks.
Cusco stocks for Cusco.
Josh.
So what is something ridiculous that you think you would do? What is like the dumbest thing that you think you would do while time traveling? Like the most pointless idea, but that you have to have done. You have to
Go back
experience.
to
Killing Andrew.
Nazi Berlin and troll Hitler. Definitely.
You wanna
Just troll.
Hitler,
Not kill,
Josh.
not stop, not
Troll.
stop the event, just
Troll
troll.
Hitler. Troll Hitler.
just mess with him.
Make him go a little more insane than he was,
Yeah.
We can't linger on this that long, guys. Why? What are
Yeah.
you doing? What
I had a-
You're not moving on.
I mean-
like this is the kind of thing you move on from.
I had a good
This is,
joke.
I want to explore
I had
this a little
good
bit.
joke.
Go ahead, Dylan. Go ahead.
He actually
ahead.
has like a full like goatee, and Josh just walks in while he's sleeping and just shaves it.
Josh gets time travel and creates the Hitler stash and then
Yeah.
leaves.
Perfect plan.
Oh my god.
I never suspected it was me all along.
Oh my gosh.
And then maybe go hang out with Stalin while I'm at it.
Oh my God.
All right, Dylan, what's the stupidest thing you would do?
The stupidest thing I would do? I don't know. Give me time to think. Go to Preston first.
Okay, Preston, what's the stupidest thing you would do?
The stupidest thing I would do? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, okay. So, are we talking like in all of history, like Josh's, or are we just like in ourselves?
Yeah, you have access to all eternity.
All eternity is yours.
What great power! I think. I don't know. I feel like something could be done with Mount Rushmore. You know. I'll leave that up to the imagination.
How many times in the history of the universe has someone started a topic with, I think something could be done with Mount
I
Rushmore?
think something could be done. All right.
I feel like that's the beginning of greatness.
Yeah.
Like, like why do the presidents deserve their heads on a mountain? It should be like it should be
should
a
be my
meme.
face.
It should be Doge or something
Yeah.
better.
Doge, Pepe.
Oh yes. Please put Pepe on a mountain.
Who is like the holy trinity of memes? We need another one.
Shaggy.
That's
Shrek.
Shaggy. Shrek, yeah, Shrek.
Ooh.
Shrek, Doge, Pepe, and then we need a fourth. Or should we just leave Washington in there?
I was gonna say
No, screw the
Washington,
presidents.
Doge, Shrek, and Pepe. Come on, that's great.
No, get rid of the presidents, man.
But just
Elon
one.
Musk.
Elon.
Trump.
Trump is a meme, and he is a president. He fits the criteria, Preston.
I mean, honestly, I'm surprised he hasn't put his head on the mountain already.
Yeah, I think there's a petition to morph all four into just one giant Trump face. I'm sure he's working on that.
Mount Trumpmore.
He's like, we got to get this out before I'm impeached, before anything happens, before my term is over. There's one thing that I have to do. I need my face on Mount Rushmore. Huge. Huge face.
I just imagine he put his face on the wall. Like, the wall just is his face.
Just
A
elongated.
giant elongated.
A giant. Trump.
Would you? I think I could do something with Trump with time travel. I don't know. Maybe like go back in time and become him. You know.
Stocks.
Stocks.
Go back in time. You know, like quietly put him away, fill in his place with a toupee wig and an oversized suit, a little bit of spray tan. Nobody notices.
That is.
And then I live out as Trump for the rest of history, and I do things a little
Okay,
differently.
I
than
have
he
new
has.
ideas.
I honestly think you being president is the worst idea I've ever heard in my entire life, and I
All right,
wholeheartedly
Preston.
mean that.
Take your pick. I'm either god of an ancient civilization or I'm president of the United States. Pick one.
Can we have a
Can I go
a
back in time and just launch you into space?
Only
Have
if you
you
bring me
tried?
back.
Take it
Elon
back.
Musk
Take it back.
style.
I'm the hero of humanity, launching little toddler Andrew into the
Oh my God.
cosmos, and everybody.
Joke's on you. Joke's on you. I end up at another planet and I become Superman. Ha!
I was gonna say
Suck
jokes on
it,
you.
Preston.
But humanity will be saved.
I was gonna say jokes on you. He re-enters the atmosphere in ancient Egypt and becomes the god of space. There's the aliens.
I knock the nose off the Sphinx.
Oh my
and then I
gosh.
become their god.
It's like you can't escape it, Preston.
You can't.
Yeah, the kid.
I am inevitable.
Your past can't change your future.
I know exactly what to do. When Andrew goes back to replace Trump, I'll replace him. Checkmate.
and then Preston accidentally launches baby Josh into space instead.
No. Josh as president would be a great time. Like,
Everyone
Josh-
gets free pie. Free pie for all.
But
high companies hate him.
Find out how he cured anorexia with this simple trick.
can,
Pie.
Oh my god. And now we gotta
We're
move
gonna
on from that
balance
topic as
America's
well.
America's budget shall be balanced with stocks.
We invested ourselves.
Josh would just change the national anthem to "Yee."
No, it be yeah.
So if
Josh
Josh has
said
time,
me.
just to clarify, if Josh gets time travel, we get Hitler's mustache and a Star Spangled Yee song as our national anthem.
Yes.
I
You gonna
can't think of a
change?
presidential campaign.
You gonna change the national bird as well, Josh?
Yes, it shall now be Trump's hair.
I wish this was an audio podcast so that I could find a GIF of his hair like flying away and morphing into a bird.
Yeah,
We could just throw that on the screen, but I don't even know if that exists. But I wanted
it does.
to.
I've seen it.
Okay, that's where you got the idea. Okay, send that to me later, Josh. I'm gonna need that.
Just look in the gifts of Discord. Trump's hair.
Okay.
I'm serious. It is
Uh,
literally there.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Wait, did you actually look it up?
Dylan, do you have a no? I didn't look it up, but I'm enjoying that it exists. Dylan, do you have something stupid that you want to do yet? Have you come up with anything?
Yes. Is it specifically going back in time to do something stupid?
No, you can go forward.
Okay, I'd go forward, look at outcome of all my friends' life, come back and challenge Brian at a bet off.
Ooh,
That's
bet
And
off.
get some serious money from Brian.
Because Brian will bet on anything.
Yeah.
is
Brian-
true.
Brian's on his deathbed, and you're just like, You owe me so much money.
Or-
He's like, how did you know I was gonna die? Of ligma.
Or
Joke's on you. In 2082, it's a real thing.
Okay. Can you imagine? You know, our culture is so memey and pop culture. Can you imagine that? Because doctors get to name diseases. Like,
Oh,
if you
it's gonna
find a
happen.
disease, they name it. Can you just
Yeah.
imagine our generation 20 years from now? Oh
We're
my
gonna-
gosh,
Yeah.
Ligma's gonna be real.
Yeah.
Joe's gonna be the most
Joe's
popular.
gonna be a thing.
Joe's gonna be a woman's name. Joe Mama.
Karen's also gonna be the name of a disease at some point. You know that, right?
God.
I saw a text conversation earlier, and it was someone that said like, "Hey, Joe went out with your sister," and they went, "Who's my sister?" And they went, "Joe Mama," and it was like, "Well, you tried."
There was an attempt.
Yeah.
And
No,
like,
that's totally gonna happen. Memes and pop culture are gonna influence our future in the worst way, but in the best way.
can you just imagine going to like your bank and there's no words, it's just emojis.
I don't want to.
That's
I wanna see the
terrifying.
solid sides.
Emojis are more of a millennial thing.
That's true, and we're all like,
We're all Gen Z.
I mean,
I think Josh, what you're wait, Josh might be millennial. Wait, Preston, I think you might be a millennial.
nope.
nope.
You're not?
95.
Oh, 1995?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I was born too.
Oh, Josh,
1995.
Josh.
how's it feel to be at the part of the most looked down upon generation in many, many years?
It's okay. I look down on everyone else.
I have been
Where's
told
my avocado toast, slave?
Oh my god. You sound like Karen.
I will say I have been told that despite being in Gen Z, I am a very millennial-esque person.
Is
Yeah,
that a
you got-
word?
No.
Millennial-esque?
No.
Yeah.
Dylan is
maybe,
a hipster.
it made me want to throw up when he said it. if
Dylan
I'm
is a
being honest.
hipster, and the problem with hipsters is they think they're original, but they're all the same. So
Oof.
I'm not a hipster.
Oof.
you try to
That's
be.
exactly what a hipster would say.
I mean,
Exactly.
just because I have an iPhone.
That.
I
What?
have an iPhone.
Unfortunately,
Literally the most mainstream thing in our society.
Unfortunately, Dylan, that does not make you a hipster.
It's not the newest iPhone anymore.
It doesn't matter.
I feel like you're more of a hipster if you have an Android now.
Dylan will have an Android in a month.
No, nothing would make Dylan forsake his
No.
false gods.
mean- I almost got a Pixel, but no.
Did you really?
I-
You who worship Apple?
Why?
Pixel-
Why Pixel?
The Pixel and the S10 are the only two phones that Android phones I ever considered getting.
Why?
I don't know. I just like the design of it.
I would go
Oh, the
back in
look.
time and push him to buy those phones because I want to live in a world where Dylan doesn't have Apple.
I mean, I'd still have an iPad and the Apple Pencil and stuff
I'd
like
push
that.
you to get the Google and the Amazon equivalents.
Oh, no, okay. Never would happen.
I don't
You
know,
don't
man.
want you don't want the Google Pencil?
No. Also, it's not called the Google Pencil.
Is that a thing? I was just about to ask. I was trying
There,
to make a joke.
there is a
Google
Google
Pen.
stylus. I just don't know what it's called. Is it the Google Pen?
The G Pen.
The G Pen. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it.
I was like the other day, someone said something about ambrosia, and I was like, "What is that? A food?" And I was trying to be dumb, but it actually is a food. So I was accidentally smart.
Isn't it a mythological food?
No, it's like a fruit salad, I think. I don't remember.
Ambrosia is mixed fruit mixed in with either yogurt or cottage cheese.
See, he knows.
So it just
My
sounds like
mom
yogurt.
likes
It
it.
just sounds like yogurt you buy from
It's
the
fruit
store.
with yogurt, but it's plain yogurt. It doesn't have anything in it. Plain yogurt.
So it's like good for you yogurt. Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds disgusting.
Yeah, I hate things that are good for you.
I mean,
It's why he's so
probably-
unhealthy.
I mean, yogurt is good for you. It's like, yeah, and then there's fruit, so I guess it is good for you. I mean, I'm like, is it good for you? I mean, if you eat a lot of it, you're gonna get fat.
If you eat a lot of anything, you'll get fat, unless it's parasites.
Lettuce. Get fat
But
off that.
You can get fat off lettuce. The only thing you cannot get fat off of eating a lot of are parasites. Tapeworms
Hey, tapeworms help you get thin.
or stomach worms. What is it called?
Think
Is it a
tapeworm.
tapeworm? Was
Yeah,
I right?
tapeworm. I think so.
Yeah, tapeworm.
Oh, okay,
I'm not
good.
sure.
Preston, have you ever swallowed a tapeworm?
Have you?
They're all bendy and curly.
I think I would go back in time and erase Josh from ever saying that.
Bendy and curly, and they crawl down
No.
your throat hole.
No,
Oh!
no.
I'm sorry for the listeners right now. I really am. I
Yeah, no,
apologize.
Yeah,
I'm-
whoever watching this is like, what in the name of
This
the
is
Lord?
the
does
worst
sound like
ASMR I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, I should
Somebody
make
is
it real
sitting
good,
on the
dude.
bus at work, at school, and they just cringe so hard they snap their neck, and they're just in fear, dying.
And then that's when the tapeworm comes out and crawls up their nose, down their throat.
Nope.
Josh,
I did not need that image, Josh.
The cursed image.
This is worse than when Trump's hair flew away.
We're all just sitting here thinking about that now. We're like,
What have you done to us, Josh?
I
it's
know.
like we can't think of time travel when we're thinking about tapeworms.
How could you do this?
All the tapeworms just for you.
We've talked more about going into the past than the future because the future is like more uncertain.
Ooh, shush.
That's.
You can't speculate as much.
I would.
But would you want to live in the future?
So, for me, I would probably jump, let's say, 1,000 years in the future, and I would see how everything's going. You know, I would see how everything's going, see how the technology is, how society, lifestyle
Check up on your
is.
great grandkids.
Nah, I don't care about them.
Why don't
Um,
die?
Dude, wait,
I-
hold up. Sorry. Did you just say grandparents?
No, I said grandkids. I
Is that
just
like you're saying?
stumbled on it.
It's like sounded like you were gonna say grandparents and then grandkids, and then you said grandcarrots. So like,
But
Grand carrots. Aren't these carrots
Um,
great?
okay.
But yeah, I would jump a couple hundred years up to like 1,000 years or so, and then I would just see how things go. Like if everybody is peacefully happy and living life and everything is free because there's abundance of everything, I'd be like,
Or if there was a nuclear holocaust, you never
well,
know.
I would go
Or
back. I
worse.
would hit that undo button. I'd be like Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z.
This is where we go back.
Everyone- Everyone turned into cannibals, and it's like, oh, what a lovely society.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
would.
you just show up and there's just a zombie apocalypse happening, and it's like, yeah,
Oh,
I'm
they're
head
not
out
zombies.
now.
I
they're
would-
not
I'm head out.
Cannibals.
I would try to find like a nice medium because like Josh's whole VR plugged into your mind, the replacing your thoughts with images and stuff. That kind
Yeah.
of creeps me out a little bit because I just think of like that could be used for torture very easily.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
wait. The show Altered Carbon. They go into that where the future they have VR, but they use it for extreme horrific torture. Like you don't know how long time has passed. They make you rapidly age and die or reverse. Like it's all kinds of crazy torture. It's a really interesting show. It's on Netflix.
I have never thought about any of that, but that sounds so dark and disturbing. I almost have to
It is.
watch it.
No, it is a good show.
it
They
looks
go
like a
into
good show. I've seen the trailers.
Yeah, they like where they switch bodies with your mind being put into like a computer chip, and you can switch bodies at ease. And it's
Huh.
like, ooh,
It's on Netflix, right?
yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I might check that out.
It
So
was
if that
actually
was
really
the
good show.
future, we definitely wouldn't stay there. We're
Yeah.
all agreeing.
Yeah,
I
like,
mean,
like
I might. The AIs sound kind of cool.
so
Have you met the AIs?
if
They have
eight-
great sense of humor. All the memes. All the memes.
yeah, but like if 800 years in the future, it's like that. I wouldn't really go. But like say 400 years in the future, things are pretty nice. Like let's say it's like the 1960s of
400
the
years.
futures.
Yeah,
Like everything.
where everyone's high as crap.
Yeah.
Because like I know the 1960s were a rough period, but like if you think of like just like the nuclear family back then, like
Yeah, well, everyone says like the 50s was the ideal
50s. Okay, I
family
might have
life
had
in America.
I might have had my years.
Yeah, no, in the 60s everything was breaking apart and people were doing drugs and running off to believe in free love.
Mass orgy.
Amongst other things. But
Yeah, lots of openness in the 60s that probably wasn't for the best.
Let's have sex with monkeys and create a new
Josh, no.
AIDS. You need that.
how high are you, Josh?
I mean, that is what the 60s
I've had a
was,
few.
but a few. What? Okay. But if you went into the future and it was like a cool, fun place, like would you abandon your life here in the present?
Oh wait,
and
Altered
live
Carbon.
there?
They gave out drugs on the street. Yeah, let's go to 2121. Freaking free drugs.
2121
Free
isn't that
drugs.
far.
They legalized LSD. It's like, thank God. Sit in my apartment, tripping balls. This is
Oh
a
my
good
God.
life. Thank you, God.
Yeah, no, I would totally stay there though. Like if everything was good and I did research, I would do research. Look at
robots, Preston.
oh my
That
God,
Josh,
Josh.
Josh, you gotta chill.
look like
Stop.
Oh, no, nope, nope. I'm out.
I'm out, baby.
So you'd stay, Preston?
Oh yeah,
I would.
yeah. Cause like, I mean, you know, I'm assuming I'd be the same age I am now.
Yeah, it's the same you, just in a different period.
Yeah, no, I would totally stay. Cause I don't see why not. Like, if things are better, and you know, let's just say like I could roll up, and just get like
Free stuff.
well, yeah, some free stuff, but like I would become a historian. I would do that as a job
Oh,
because
that's a good plan.
yeah, no. There'd be a lot of money in it because I could, probably from like my DNA or whatever, prove I'm from the past, and then I would just be like, I want
Podcast time.
this.
Growing up in 2019, how things have changed.
Yeah,
How
like
dark things used to be.
Before
Trump
the
was
invention
president.
of Twitter 2. How was it for you without Twitter 2?
Twitter 2 changed everything back in 2025.
really, I left 2019, wasn't there. But yeah, no, like I would become a historian and just be like, yeah, I'll answer all your questions, as long as I, get to live this type of lifestyle. And
It's like how we now look back on primitive civilization, how they have cannibalism and stuff, and it's like other deprived things, and it's like, wonder how they feel looking back.
Yeah,
At
they're gonna look back at TikTok and be like, "This was the most deprived society." How could
far
we
we
have
have
allowed
fallen.
this as a human race?
how far we had fallen.
I will show up to the future bringing memes, and they will not know. They
Do you
will-
realize how different memes are like today than they were back then? Memes in the future are going to be so
Weird.
weird.
Oh yeah,
We are
Memes
not
now
going to
weird.
even begin to comprehend them.
It's
Meme-
gonna be like Egyptian hieroglyphs.
That's actually probably a good comparison, cause like you look at a meme from what 2009, were those Rage comics?
Yeah.
10 years ago,
Probably.
Rage comics, and like they were funny then. They were funny, like middle school and high school, or they were dying out in high school, and then like now it's like you do a Rage comic meme and you just kind of stare at it with a blank face, like what is this? What I don't know what this is.
Why did I laugh at this?
And now you have like beans squeezing out of Crocs, and
Yeah, now you have like looking for beans.
And I'm just
It's
like-
just a nuked image. Or E. E is like the most defining meme of like how far we've fallen in terms of humor.
he is gone, dude. That's dead.
I know, but I'm saying like that was popular. That was funny to people.
Yeah, we added
Why?
another, it became
Dad,
funny
why
again.
isn't it funny anymore?
I don't know why it was funny.
But you laughed at it, didn't you?
A few times, yes.
Exactly.
Ooh.
But we don't know why. Humor in the future is going to be
Next level.
so different, but I'm excited for it. Like if I
Humor
had
in the
time travel,
future-
that would be one of the things I'd most want to learn about.
Humor in the future is gonna be great or just awful. Like you're either gonna be able to make everybody laugh at anything, or you're just not gonna be allowed to say anything because everybody is kind of,
PC.
yes. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you, Dylan. I was gonna say something else.
What were you gonna say, Preston?
We're moving on now, people.
I'm curious, Preston.
Nope, we are
No,
moving on.
I could see that, except for the fact that like the current like young generation, Gen Z, is like pretty fed up with political correctness. Like there's edgy memes all across the internet. Pop culture is kind of accepting of
It's the
darker
millennials.
humor.
They are the
and
problem.
It's the millennials that want to be politically correct. They're always the problem, man.
So as soon as millennials
We
go, we'll all be
prefer 2020s.
No, the problem with millennials is also that like they're painted in a bad light in terms of like society, and they're
Yeah,
like
they have
not
some good
everyone's
ideas.
the same. Like you group people into generations and stuff, and it like works to some degree. But like, I mean, millennials aren't actually like the root of all of the world's problems, if we're being
No.
honest.
And they have
That
they
would
have a
be-
lot of good ideas and stuff, but like I do agree with that political correctness statement saying that, you know,
Yeah, it's like a general rule,
yeah. It's like a rule of thumb.
and it's okay to stereotype because we're not millennials.
Well,
God,
Yeah.
sorry.
Only millennials are against stereotyping.
I am anti-millennial. Yee. Everyone go and suffer and have a good time doing it.
Oh my gosh. Thanks for giving me all the hard work, Josh.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. I make your life have purpose.
Well,
I mean, he's still kind of purposeless, if we're being honest.
Ooh.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
there's another thing I have to edit out.
We love you. Dylan just edits out anytime anyone says anything bad about him. It's just like a 4-minute podcast of "Good job, Dylan," and then it's over.
I mean, he's gonna have a heyday with that portion where he was gone.
oh yeah, true. Yeah, we just talked crap about you for like the entire portion. I messaged him and I was like, when you get back, don't mention that you left. You know, we were gonna try to keep this smooth flowing, but in actuality, I just wanted to move on, like we hadn't been talking about him behind his back.
You were the one that brought up he left.
I know.
Okay.
Because I wanted to be inconspicuous, but now the truth's out there, so never mind.
He took longer to get back than I expected.
That's because the Wi-Fi went out, and I had to restart my computer after that because Discord didn't want to open.
Dylan,
I told you it was his internet. I
Dylan-
told you.
it's okay, Dylan. I said I would time travel and I would provide you with better internet.
Well, you haven't done that yet, so like, get a move on.
Well,
Wait, guys,
no, there you
guys, everyone shut up. If any of us ever get time travel right now to go back and tell yourself that it's real at 4:46 October 19th in 3 2 1.
Time travel exists. Oh my gosh!
I must be dead in the future.
Okay, so either Dylan's a wizard, a con man, or we are all gonna die terrible, terrible deaths.
Either that or you completely forgot about this. Dun-dun-dun.
Oh, true. What if Dylan's the one with a good memory? Oh, true. Everyone set a reminder on your phone in 20 years. Okay, let's talk about the actual realistic possibility of time travel. Do you think it's possible at all, ever?
At least not in our lifetimes. There are. I read a news story.
5 years from now.
I did read a news story that people are actually in cryogenic sleep right now, hoping that science in the future will be able to bring them back.
Oh
Why?
yeah, ain't that wild?
People are actually doing that,
Yeah.
and they are dead. They are. Let's be honest, they're dead. At
It's
least
not
no-
like where they freeze you before you actually die. Because I've heard of that.
I don't think you can do that at this point.
Oh.
It's like they're like in a cryogenic sleep, hoping that technology can bring them back. Like they're putting all of their faith in science and technology. Meanwhile, scientists are working on augmented reality, not bringing those guys back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because they're dead. They're kind of worthless at this point.
Yeah, it's like. Would you imagine like they make the technology to just flop down? They're like, oh, well, there's.
That's
20
because the
years
scientists are
wasted.
like, it's the future scientist problem.
Yeah.
Why worry about it now? Let's build a Tesla.
Like, I mean,
Let's send a Tesla to space.
why not?
Because
right?
we can. Preston, you think time travel will ever be possible?
I mean, I don't know that much about the science behind it, and I'm certainly not a physicist or
You're literally
anything.
teleporting somewhere else at a different time.
I think
Hold on 1 second.
I think there's a chance it could be, especially because, you know, Einstein's theory, I think, predicted something similar with, like, wormholes and whatever. So there's always a chance it could happen, but if there is, then I definitely think we would notice stuff now. And if we
Andrew
didn't, then
Cosby
the government knows about it, and they're covering it up.
As they do.
Yes.
Area 51.
They're hiding all the pictures of Hitler with his goatee and his mustache. They're like, no, the public can never know.
Never know what Josh did.
It's all in Area 51, and they went back in time to keep everyone from actually showing up to the raid.
Oh my god.
That's
It's all a conspiracy.
Is that the Addams Family theme song?
No,
Oh.
he's doing the what is the instrument? The tune before the Illuminati tune.
A whistle.
Oh, the
Yeah, that's what he was doing.
For all those who
he
do not know, it's X-Files.
Yes,
must
it
have
is
cut
the
out
X.
for me
It is
because
the X Files. They might do that.
I think he cut out for me because all I just heard was do 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 do. I'm like, was that the Addams? It's like, was that the Addams Family theme?
The Illuminati and the Addams Family are one.
Yes, cousin Ed. Well,
I
I never actually watched the Addams Family, so I can't make that joke go any
I like that.
farther.
The Munsters were better.
They
Never
were.
watched that either.
They were better.
Dude, black and white shows always rubbed me the wrong way.
Oh, I
Really?
agree. Dude, I would go back in time and give them the gift of color.
The gift of color.
You just give him a
Behold, color.
Behold, color. That's my favorite line of the podcast, guys. That's my favorite line of this episode.
Preston doesn't know how like technology stuff works. He just comes back with like those colorblind glasses that they'll color in color. He puts them all on. They're like, it doesn't work.
You know, so
The
like
TV's still black and white.
what kicked off like the first video, as far as I know, it was Thomas Edison captured some guy sneezing. It's kind of really weird. Like, look up Frank. I think it's Frank or Fred Ott's. Frank Ott's sneeze. It was like the first thing that was ever recorded.
Oh yeah.
And after that, that's when like I think camera technology started picking up and stuff. Because everything used to be like a really fast slideshow. And I would just go back to those times because it wouldn't be that hard. Like the technology with color, I don't think it would be too different from those times. If you take the early stuff, and I would just be like, "Behold, color," and then just like chuck it in their faces, and then that way older stuff could be enjoyable.
I was really hoping you'd be like, have like this giant like thing covered up, and you'd be like, "Behold, color!" Pull it open, and it's just the Lit Fam logo with like all the rainbow.
He's just advertising for our podcast, like way back in the day. Like, trust me, your grandchildren are gonna love this.
You're gonna want to invest in this.
Make sure you tell them about it because right now no one's watching.
Like 10 years ago, these kids are like, my grandma told me about this podcast called Lit Fam. We're like, that's a good idea.
It's been in development for 150 years.
That would be so sad if we were working on this for 150 years and this is the best we could come up with. That would
Things take time.
be upsetting.
Right now we're at 140 years. Give it 10 more years and I'll be at peak performance.
It's like, I just need more time. Just 10 more
Speaking of
years.
time
Come on,
travel,
guys.
what do you think
Yeah.
people in the future that listen to this would think?
Man, these guys are idiots.
They thought we were gonna have flying cars.
Oh, they've been saying that
Flying
since the 60s.
I know, right?
That's
Okay,
Flying cars are never happening.
we have flying cars, but we have like one that a billionaire paid for. And
Do we
to take-
actually?
Yeah, so there's a few flying cars, but they literally take like jet rocket engine, like engines that plane, the fuel that
That's not a flying car. That's a tiny plane.
That's what planes
you
are,
know
just
what?
giant
That's an
flying
accurate
With a
description.
trunk. With a trunk.
That's an accurate description because that's what they are. They're like these
Yeah.
car-shaped things, and then they just like go on the road, speed up, and just take off.
We don't need flying cars. We need personal helicopters. That's what we need.
There's those two. Those exist, but like
But we need them to be commonplace. Like I
Yeah.
want my own.
Yeah, like stuff like that exists. You just got to be mega rich, and/or be an investor in a company so you can use one.
Well, remember, cars were once for the rich only, and then Ford came along.
That's
It
true.
all
like
goes
how-
back to stocks.
Things,
And
But
child
actually-
labor.
That's
I feel
right.
like
It's You made the future possible.
You know, I think we do like enough education today. You think we should like re-allow child labor? Like, if it's-
Preston, what?
No,
Are you
no, no,
serious?
No. But like, okay.
Child labor. It makes your future possible and your shoes.
So no. Like they were overworked and in poor conditions. But like, you know, if a 10-year-old wants to work, if a 10-year-old thinks they can, you know, mop stuff up in a grocery store, like why not let them mop? Obviously, don't let them do like important jobs, but like, you know, like the lower end stuff. Like, you know, I'm just spitballing here. Like, you know, have kids be our janitors.
All right, let me ask you a question, Preston.
Yeah, it's I realized it was a stupid idea after I finished it. But go ahead.
You walk. We'll set the scene. You walk into a small business, local grocery store. You want to pick up some apples.
Yeah.
Fuji. You like Fuji apples?
I don't, but
you?
okay.
All right. Well, in this scenario, you like Fuji apples. Okay.
Sure.
There's a child mopping the floor.
Okay. I
Are
don't
you
see.
okay with that?
Yeah.
You want to stay shopping? You trust the child to do a good enough job.
I mean, I'm
cleaning
clearly
the
watching him mop.
place you're buying your food from.
I'm clearly watching him mop. Like if.
Wait a minute. I didn't say you like sat down with some popcorn and
No.
enjoyed
but,
the
like,
show. What's wrong with you, you
like,
freak?
Like no. Like if I'm there picking up apples and I turn to the right and there's
Fuji
this kid mopping in the store uniform or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, he's doing his job. Like, and it's not like, you know, I see him messing around or anything. I'm just gonna like, continue with my day.
What if he's wearing a French maid outfit?
Stop.
Then we question the manager.
Then I'm gonna question what goes on in your mind, Andrew. And
Well, you're the one that was watching him.
I just gave the premise that he works for the store in a store uniform, and you are the one French outfit.
I go to
You're the
weird
freak
grocery
here.
stores.
You're the
Maybe.
freak here.
He goes to the French ones.
That wasn't funny, Josh. Why are you laughing at your own joke?
If you only knew about the French ones
So
and how deprived
stupid.
they are.
Why am I laughing at it?
Yee.
Okay. So you're okay with child labor?
No, I'm okay if they lowered the minimum working age a little bit.
Okay, well that's a much more reasonable argument.
Yeah, I'll put it that way. Like I said, 10. Like I don't want like a 4-year-old, you know, doing something.
Shining your shoes.
Yeah, but like,
Can I get a tip, sir?
like there were times when I was, you know, so I got my first job when I was 16. No, 16. I just turned 17 shortly after. So like there were times when I was like 13 or 14 where I'm like, man, I wish I had money for some stuff, and like I probably wouldn't have mind, you know, working some simple stuff. Obviously, you don't want, you know, kids.
And your only option is like a
Isn't
paper
Publix
route
like
or like
14?
depends. Yeah, depends on the place you work. Some places will hire younger, but not 10. I don't think. Is a 10-year-old
Yeah, it's
capable
like-
of working? Would you trust a 10-year-old?
I don't know. I don't know.
I
Dude,
wouldn't trust 10-year-old me with anything.
I don't know a single person under the age. How old are you, Dylan?
17.
17. Okay. How old is the youngest person in Lit Fam? I forget.
16.
16. I don't know a single person younger than that. That's the youngest
Yeah.
person I know. So like,
You've never seen a child? You don't have like nephews?
no.
You don't have like second cousins that are like younger? Like
I don't
Nothing?
talk to them. I don't see them. I don't really see my family that often.
you know.
I don't see
Are
my
you-
immediate family that often. I live in my
I
room.
never leave my room. That's the story of all of our lives.
I don't-
And so, I mean, in conclusion, if we could time travel, we wouldn't, because then we'd have to leave our rooms.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching, everybody. Please be sure to leave us reviews, raving, of course, only. Don't leave bad ones, ever.
Sponsor us.
No, we're not begging for
Brave Shadow
sponsors.
Legends.
I will.
No, stop! No, cut it out! Cut the video! Cut the feed!
Check me out on YouTube.
We'll do it live.
Shameless plug. Check Dylan out on YouTube.
Dylan's gonna cut it halfway when I say cut the.
Just cut it
So
while
now.
no, cut it in the middle. You're screaming.
Yeah, that's what